Update on the Bullet. There's the engine with the barrel and head stripped currently. Now I had the head off to do the helicoil insert. For any of you watching this, obviously you'll have seen that on my last video, and I've now been focusing on the decoke of the cylinder bowl and the top of the piston there. As you can see, this has been flattered with 600 and then 1200 grit wet and dry to get as smooth a surface as possible, and it's then been, I've just given it a light going over with some Autosol, and I shall be polishing it to a higher shine, get that nice and smooth and shiny as possible, and the same with the cylinder head, which I'll just show you in a moment. Now, I've not done a decoke on a bike since I used to ride two-strokes, and that was a few years ago, so this has been quite novel for me. And the head, you know, I just sort of sat there for a couple of hours last night while I was listening to some music, just working away at it. It's quite sort of therapeutic. It's pretty nice. So there you go, that's where we are with the head at the moment. The piston crown looking nice and shiny there. Interestingly, while I'm here, I took the piston rings off. You'll notice there I've got some masking tape around the edge. Now this I've put on while I'm doing the polishing with the Autosol, because it is effectively a grinding paste, albeit a very, very fine one. What I don't want to do is get any sort of lodge down inside the piston ring grooves, or working its way down the side of the piston skirt into the bore and that kind of thing. Although, as I said, the odds of damage are minimal. I don't want to risk that, so a bit of masking tape around there. Once I've polished that up, I'll peel that off, give the whole thing a good wipe over, and that'll be fine. And also, when I took the piston rings off to inspect them and check the gaps in the bore and what have you, I'd noted that the oil scraper ring at the bottom and the middle ring were both fitted upside down. Now they're both directional. The top one's just a plain one and can be fitted either way up. The bottom one and the middle one are directional. The middle one is slightly tapered, although it's now impossible to see with the naked eye. The middle one is kind of forgivable because it's got a little dot denoting the top. Now I wasn't sure of the meaning of that until I looked in the manual, and it said, you know, it would be stamped with a dot or a circle. The oil scraper ring, however, is pretty unforgivable, considering it had the word top stamped on the top of it. So that's quite straightforward as far as I would have thought anyway. So yeah, they've both been inspected. They look okay, and I'm going to put them back on the right way and hope, fingers crossed, that they're going to be okay. So yeah, it's looking good so far. I've got the gasket surface down here to clean up still, but that won't take much doing, so a good scrape and clean of that, ready to fit the new gasket, and before too long I should be able to have the whole thing back together, the barrel back on, and then the head with the new steel cylinder head washers from Hitchcock's, along with a few other bits of goodies from Hitchcock's. And then once it's all back together, I can try firing it up and have a look at this sparking problem again. But I'm just going to nip round now and show you the cylinder head. And we've got the base of the valves. This is the exhaust valve. It's not come up quite as well as the inlet. The inlet's come up quite nicely, as you can see there. And inside the cylinder head, there you go. It's like a brand new one. I'm quite pleased with that, I have to say. In fact, it's so nice, I'm half tempted to just sit it on the mantelpiece along with the piston. But that really wouldn't do much good for sort of riding enjoyment, would it? But anyway, there you go. So you can see up there as well the decompressor button, which I've also given a bit of a polish to. And again, the same procedure, 600 grit, 1200 grit, and then Autosol, just get that as shiny as possible. All I've got to do now is lap in the valves, lap in the decompressor button, and then it's just a case of clean up the mating surfaces and get that ready for reassembly. Okay, so there we go at the moment, that's where we are. These are the piston rings. I'll just quickly show you this. Excuse me, I've been suffering with a bit of a cold recently, so you can probably not see the words because, let me just try. Problem is I can't change the focus on this once it's filming, which is a bit of a nuisance. But that there says top, and that was fitted that way up, you know, which is pretty crazy. And then this one here is your second one, and you can see it's stamped with a dot just there where it's plain on the bottom, which signifies that that's the direction it goes, and that was that way up. The top one is plain, can go either way up, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, there you go. Oh well. You find out these interesting things as you go along, and frankly it's a wonder that it ran, that it actually ran as well as it sounded when I bought it, given that, because you would expect if the oil control ring and the scraper ring's the wrong way around, for it to be allowing oil into the head, which it may well have been doing for the last, I don't know, 5,000 miles or so, depending on who did this this particular piston ring change. I'm not sure. Again, I don't know if it was from the factory like that. I should certainly hope not, but who knows? Who knows? An odd thing, a very odd thing indeed. So yeah, so there we go. As I said, that's where we stand at the moment. That's piston rings given a clean over, a wipe over. They'll be refitted once I polish the piston, and then the barrel will be given a clean, oil the bore of the barrel, refit the piston over there, a new base gasket, and then it's just a case of the head, retorque that on, and it's super shiny new helicoil spark plug insert, pop a new plug in, and we'll see where we go from there. Thanks for watching.